There are also smaller, lesser Erd trees you can find throughout the game's map.
Well, folks, today we got some early Elden Ring gameplay. We got a review coming from Gamespot, and a lot of people are shaking around the streets. I really want to see why people are shaking. Make sure to smash if you're excited for the game. 1, if you're gonna buy. 2, if you're not gonna buy. Let me know in the comments, and let's get right into it.
Elden Ring is the latest game from Software, creators of Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and of course, King's Field. The game takes the basic action RPG mechanics of Dark Souls, but introduces a brand new open world that completely changes things up. Similar to the Soulsborne games, as of the closed beta, players will be able to choose from a number of starting classes, with stats they'll be able to upgrade as they level up, allowing for a level of freedom
There is
in
so
creating their own
much, god
builds.
damn, bro.
The starting classes thus far are Vagabond, Warrior, Hero, Bandit, Astrologer, Prophet, Samurai, Prisoner, Confessor, and Wretch, with Wretch being the level 1 build. Stats.
By the way, I never really played Bloodborne either.
Mind,
I know I'm bad.
Strength, Dexterity, Intelligence, Faith, and Arcane. This means, similar to prior Soulsborne games, you'll have the freedom to choose between Strength, Quality, Dex, and varying magic builds, or
my guy, it has that God of War vibe to it.
After meeting your first Finger Maiden, Melina. Once you've met her, you'll be able to level up at any of the game's Sites of Grace, which
Yo, Melina looking like a snack right there, though.
At the Sites of Grace, you'll be able to manage your Estus Flasks, and like Dark Souls 3, you'll have a variety of Estus Flask types. You'll have ones that refill your HP, ones that refill your FP, or focus points that allow you to cast magic, and a brand new Flask of Wondrous Physique, which is a customizable Estus Flask that will give you varying attributes depending on what crystal tiers you equip to it. You'll also be able to upgrade how many Estus Flask uses you get by using special golden seeds. If you recall from the game's trailer, there are giant golden Erd trees throughout the game that are clearly significant. There are also smaller, lesser Erd trees you can find throughout the game's map.
Yo,
At these
horses
lesser Erd
can
trees,
fly?
you'll find special golden seeds, which are exactly what you need to upgrade your Estus Flask uses. The number of seeds you need will change as you upgrade your flask, and this isn't the only way to obtain these seeds.
My guy, there is so much.
Recovery strength of your
You got lightning thunder there.
Back to Sites of Grace though, as the game is now open world, these act like bonfires from Dark Souls 2 or 3, in that you can immediately warp to them once you've activated them. Unlike those games, so long as you're not in battle, you can warp to any Site of Grace at pretty much any point
that
in
map
time.
mega.
The map in World of Elden Ring
mega.
is absolutely massive, so these are meant to not only be a spot of respite, but an important way to quickly travel around the map. However, that means the map could quickly become overrun with a ridiculous number of Sites of Grace every time you enter a Legacy dungeon or smaller dungeon.
Bro, it's giving me God of War vibes. Now, before you say, yo, how dare you call this God of War? How is it? I'm not saying that in a bad way, my guy. I played God of War 1 and 2. It's kind of reminding me off of that. It's giving me that vibe that I really like right now. Damn, I now understand why people are hyped for it.
Too many warpable Sites of Grace. And speaking of death, the game works just like previous Soulsborne games in how it's handled.
Yeah.
There are no save
There'll be
points
a
in
lot of
Elden Ring,
rage
and the game
moments,
is
man. Yeah.
On death, instead of needing to load a prior save, you'll lose all of your currency and respawn at your nearest checkpoint. You'll have a chance to regain this lost currency, but should you die again, that currency is permanently lost. In Elden Ring, this currency is referred to as runes. Runes are what you'll be using to not only purchase items and weapons in the game, but are also your experience points you'll be using to level up. On top of purchasing weapons, you can use your runes to upgrade your weapons and make them more powerful.
This is my first time checking it out because, listen, when I heard about Elden Ring, I was like, listen, I never really played any game like it, so I'm not really interested in it. Not saying that in a bad way, it's just that it did not give me dopamine. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I get the appeal.
Equip load is also back, which means the heavier the armor and weapons
Medium
you're using,
load?
the slower your character will move.
Can a brother get like a massive load or something?
To dodge away from enemies. New to
homie
Elden Ring
pressing
is
X
crafting.
there.
Around the lands between, you'll find various crafting materials out in the wilderness, and even from slaying various creatures you'll find roaming about. The items you can craft range from being able to cure status ailments like poison, to pots or knives you can throw at enemies, or even to crafting special arrows to use with a bow. Tate,
Yo, it's giving me that dinosaur game vibe. I don't remember the name. I saw Typical Gamer play that, where you can like grind stuff like that.
multiple times at this point is the world map, which is new to Elden Ring. As the game is open world, and the map is so much more massive than previous Souls games, From Software has added a map with the ability to fast travel to certain points. However, if you're not the biggest fan of this edition, you don't have to worry too much, as the map is very basic. While it does show the wider world, you can use it to find some points of interest, and NPCs may even mark points of interest on the map, the game's smaller dungeons strewn throughout the world and legacy dungeons have no maps associated with them. So you'll still have—
Boy, it looks good. I gotta keep a $150 as somebody who wasn't really into it. It's looking good.
Find map fragments in order to slowly fill it in yourself.
But still don't want to let my dogs out though. Like, I'm probably not gonna buy it day one. Just gonna wait a little bit out. Also because like I know if I buy, I'm not gonna have time to play, so gotta wait a little bit.
So you won't have an extremely guided experience and interwoven map like we've seen in games like Bloodborne or Dark Souls 1. However, within the lands between, you'll discover both hidden dungeons and legacy dungeons. The hidden dungeons act like mini dungeons, and even though they're small,
Yo, this area reminds me of God of War, deadass, dog.
some of these dungeons are easy to find, some are hidden behind walls you'll need to leap over, and some of them can be found thanks to the guidance of statues you'll find in the world that will help indicate what direction to go. Many of these dungeons are slightly reminiscent of Chalice dungeons from Bloodborne in their scale, but unlike those, they're all handcrafted and well thought out.
Bro,
However,
massive
there are
God
also
of War
larger
vibes
dungeons
there.
you'll find that aren't legacy dungeons.
Yeah, I like it, dude. I like it.
Meanwhile, the game's legacy dungeons are similar to major From Software areas of the past. In a way, you can think of it like stumbling upon an area from Demon Souls. Instead of returning
Yeah,
to
on top you got like green and blue there. That's like health and magic. If you played God of War 1 and 2, right? It's giving me that vibe. It's simple.
Souls 3. The legacy dungeons themselves
But
are
I
large,
love it.
interwoven, and intricately designed with plenty of verticality and uniqueness, and will give you that classic From Software experience I'm sure you're craving if you're a fan of these games.
Yeah, man, need that classic. Like, why change? Why fix something that's not broken? You know what I mean, right?
As long as you're outside of dungeons and legacy dungeons, with a spectral steed whistle. Riding horseback is its own unique experience in Elden Ring. All of your weapons have unique movesets for riding horseback, with some, like lances, meant for this type of combat. Your horse can also double jump and utilize spirit springs to launch up high in the air and access areas much higher than a double jump can. There are also bosses you'll find in the field designed to be fought via horseback as opposed to on foot. While playing
you
an
got
test, I came across a tree
dragons there.
sentinel boss early on. One time I tackled and defeated him on foot, while another I attempted the fight horseback. While it was certainly possible to do the fight on foot, the battle was
That's
far
a good
easier
looking
on
boss
horseback,
on top.
and this was definitely meant to be the way to tackle this particular boss. You'll also encounter a dragon that was shown in the Elden Ring trailers, and once again, this boss is definitely easier to tackle on your steed. All of that said, as you can't bring your steed into dungeons, this in no way replaces traditional Souls combat, but rather is an additional experience on top of that classic From Software style gameplay. While the lands between are entirely connected, at least as far as we're currently aware, there is a central hub similar to Firelink Shrine, Majula, or the Hunter's Dream, and you'll find—
I'm really bad, bro. Like, I only play games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, GTAs, and you know what I mean? I do play story games, so I gotta give myself a little bit of credit, but I mean, I gotta play more as well. Some other stuff too, you know?
and attacks. You'll also have a stamina meter, which is crucial to these games, as you'll need to wait for it to recharge before you can perform actions like attacking or dodging. You'll have 4 basic sets of moves per weapon and shield. With each weapon, you can use it one-handed with a set of light attacks or heavier attacks, or choose to dual-wield your weapon for a separate set of more powerful light and heavy attacks.
You're
You can
only
equip your
pressing
shields
square
or
and
weapons
triangle at the
you
same
like,
time, I
meaning
think.
if you want, you can wield 2 weapons at once, and sometimes combine these attacks at the expense
Yeah, square,
of more
square,
defense.
triangle, triangle, square,
Each weapon
square,
and shield
triangle,
come with a
triangle.
type of weapon art. Some of these weapon arts are locked per weapon, especially when it comes to unique weapons. However, you'll
Yeah,
also find
damn,
many
there is so
equipable weapon
much.
arts as you play through the game, which you'll be able to equip.
Yeah, let me get inside. I want to see like all of that.
Soulsborne games, you'll also be able to parry enemy attacks, opening them up for a much more powerful riposte. Similarly, you can strafe around your enemies to try and find an opening to backstab them.
Not in the kicks. You don't knife the kicks like that.
Counter with a strong guard counter that can break the stance of
Hit
many
him
stubborn
right in the
opponents.
kicks.
However, it comes with the risk of being relatively slow, so perform these at your own risk.
Yeah,
Also,
homie
in
went
Elden
to
Ring
heaven.
are 2 abilities carried over from Sekiro. You'll now be able to use stealth to sneak around enemies as well as jump. These elements have worked their way into combat, as you can use—
Hey, again, why the kicks? Why you gotta knife the kicks like that? In my opinion, graphics aren't too crazy, but gameplay, progression, that's fire. Who cares about the graphics when gameplay and progression is good, right? And graphics on top aren't too bad either. And we're watching a YouTube video, so obviously when you play by yourself, they will be a bit better. Thoughts? I feel like a new man. I totally understand the appeal right now. But click on this video on the screen and I will see you right there. Just click it, man. You're gonna